Hey everyone. This session is about different open source competitions and programs, and we will be discussing about a lot of things in depth to an extent. And someone asked something about what is going to be covered. Would you like to ask it once again?
Yeah, sure, sir. Sir, I was asking about how in depth are we gonna go? Like, will you tell about how to work with this open source things, and or if you'll just tell us that we will work
Uh,
on these things?
so we will guide. We'll have a small quick demo of all the Git and GitHub related stuff as well. It will be less than 10 minutes in the whole session. This whole session is only 1 hour. So we need to make sure that we cover everything. So it is mainly about the open source programs, but also we will be looking into the Git and GitHub part as well. And I'll also give you a certain number of links and other things where you will be able to get a good guidance on those areas as well. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Will you give any example or something of kind like
We can do a demo.
Okay,
Definitely, yes.
That's very nice. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. So we can do a small demo of how to make contributions to the open source world. Okay.
Yeah.
First thing is this whole webinar is about open source programs and competitions that are happening right now and in the next couple of months as well. So one thing which I wanted to see is like I'll send a couple of things in the chat as well. So there are like nice offers from Coding Ninjas as well. So we have got a lot of people who are in YouTube too. So hey Aditya, Virendra, Sahitya, and Hamad. But let me put the things that was sent to me quickly.
Hello,
so,
sir.
Hey, hi.
Hello, Raghu.
Yes,
This
Raghuveer.
side.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir. In
let's not call me sir. Just address me as Praveen.
Hello, Praveen. I have a doubt that in this few months there is going to GSOC, right?
Yes.
In few months. So I want to participate and get select for that. Sir, in this session you are also going to guide for GSOC also, right?
We are covering two things in depth. One is GSOC and one is GSSOC. So GSSOC is something which I worked with. GSOC is what a lot of people are looking for. So that is one thing. And by the way, I have sent a small message in the chat and Zoom so that those people who are registered through CN for CN courses, if you want 100% of waiver, here is something that you want to check it out. And not only that, I'm also live streaming this on my YouTube channel. So if it is possible for you all, just go there and say a hi or like give a like or something like that. So this is the YouTube link as well. And right. So let's continue with the first thing. So before that, I just wanted to give a quick introduction about myself. Hey everyone, my name is Praveen. I'm originally from Chennai, India, currently living and working in London. Right now I'm in India. That's why the background looks like this. I'm really sorry about the unprofessional background, but without further delay. So what am I doing? I'm a full stack JavaScript specialist specializing in React.js and Node.js, working for one of the top US based investment banking firms, which in turn is a lot of Indians know about that particular investment banking firm and would be a huge fans of that. But yes, I am not supposed to tell outside. So that's me. And I've got like around like 15 years of experience in the industry. At the same time, I have got a lot of experience in the community side of things. So that's about me. And I would really like everyone to put a single one-liner about yourself as well. And today we will be looking into different open source programs and the competitions that are going on right now. And I bet you there are like more than 100 competitions at this point. So be prepared to get a lot of information through this live stream and webinar. And I hope everyone is excited now. Okay, so can I expect all your introductions in just one liner? Okay, that looks nice. Not one word introduction. I said one liner introduction, which means like, who are you? What are you doing? Etc. Awesome. Okay, great. We are getting a lot of nice messages and no knowledge of competitions. That's why you are here. Great. So for more, wow, Unreal Engine and web dev, nice one. Okay, cool, that's nice. So I could see that a lot of people are from the like B CSE, B Tech CSE, so from correct branches. So it would be the right audience. I just wanted to have a quick check on the audience. Who is my audience? What are they doing, etc. That's it. Okay, that's great. It's nice to know a lot of people who are from the same thing. Okay, the first thing which we will be working on is first we will be looking at is what exactly is this open source. How many of you know what open source is, and how many of you do not know? So if you know it, tell what do you know about open source. What do you think open source is? And if you don't know it, tell you don't know. And second thing is, how many of you want a story? Just type in story. Basic knowledge, all can contribute story. Okay, it's like we can contribute and make our own changes. Great. Don't know, sir, but yes, want a story. Okay, stop calling me sir. Okay. I could see at least 5 to 6 people who are asking for story. I'm gonna choose a couple of people for volunteers. So anyone who wants to be a volunteer, 3 people. The first 3 people. Okay. Okay, Raghuveer, take me. You're the first person. Okay, Raghuveer, you are my friend, and I want another person, preferably a girl. All right. I couldn't. Okay, Arushi. Great. So we have Arushi and Raghuveer as friends. Myself, Arushi, and Raghuveer. Arushi, you are sitting in the first bench. I am sitting in the last bench, and Raghuveer sits in the middle. And we 3 are extremely close friends. And there is this day coming in, and we have got a kind of like a assignment to be submitted. And now the fun part is, since Arushi is extremely a brilliant person, she finishes the assignment and she submits it and gets 80 marks. Being our close friend, Arushi shares the assignment with me as well as Raghuveer, and we just copy both the things, and we 3 of us get 80 marks. Don't do it in the real classes. And coming to the quality of mine or character of mine, being a last bencher and extremely curious person, I look at Arushi's assignment and found a couple of flaws that can be made better. So what I do is I take a Xerox copy of Arushi's assignment and then make some changes, and then I submit it as my assignment. I got around 90 marks. Being a good friend of Arushi, I just go to her, say, Arushi, you have done an awesome job, but look at this, I got extra 10 marks. So maybe you want to do this as well. And what she does is, being an over intelligent and brilliant student, she makes it even more better, gets 95 marks and shares it with us all. So we all are getting 95 marks and we are all happy. Now, what did you understand from this story? Now, if we just try to kind of like analyze this in the open source way, the teacher who came and give us the assignment, she is the one who is the developer community. We need a nice, awesome IDE. I know people will take the wrong things out of it. Other than cheating, what is the good thing? Harshit, you are the best man. Exactly. So what is happening here is everyone will be getting benefited. Exactly. So what happens here is the teacher is the developer community, and the developer community needs some kind of an awesome application or something like an integrated development environment or something like that to make things better. That's the first thing. Second thing is, the person who is Arushi, would you like to be a Microsoft? You are the Microsoft company or the developers from Microsoft. So you first create a Visual Studio Code IDE. I believe a lot of people would have created that, right? And we are all developers who are using it. I'm also one of the developers. Visual Studio Code creator is also a developer. So all these developers together, they try to update everything, try to create the software. But this guy who is not satisfied with Visual Studio Code tries to make a lot of changes. So remember, I Xerox copied Arushi's code, right? Arushi's assignment. What I did here is I forked the Visual Studio Code repository of Microsoft organization and then started adding my code to it. And it was working perfectly fine. So what I did is I went to Arushi, I went to Microsoft and talked to them, requesting them to pull my changes to your repository. So forking means Xerox copying of the code. Okay. So Arushi has got her own GitHub repository and I have my own GitHub repository. Arushi created one particular software to which I want to contribute. Since I don't have access, I need to make a copy under my name, and then I will be making changes, and then I'll be requesting Arushi to pull my changes that are updated from her code. So this is what I did. I went to Microsoft, requested them to pull the changes of my new changes, my code, which is called as pull request. So now if you understand, once it is merged, it is available for everyone. And even after merging my code, they made better code on top of it. And then they said, send to everyone. Right. So now did you understand the both comparison between this and that? The open source world versus the classroom world. So what do you think about the story? Awesome. So this is exactly what open source is and how the whole thing is happening. So with this being said, we can also do a small demo of all the open source and stuff like that. So how to become a contributor, etc. And this will be, I guess, based on whoever is talking like in the chat. I feel that we all need a small beginner workshop on the Git and GitHub side of things. And then we can go ahead and talk about a little bit about the open source programs, and maybe we will do a lot of answers about that too. Okay, so that is what I would think would be better. All right, it is kind of a helping thing, but at the same time, it is going to also help people in more different ways by opening the source code to others so that they can also submit their part of things. So there is a concept called as 1,000 eyes concept. It means you have one single web application or something like that. Not only one person is developing the code, but one person, let's say I develop the code and publish it to the internet. And there are like, look at GitHub stats. So there are like more than 5 crore people on GitHub. Okay. So all those 5 crore people will have the access to see that code, but there will be a couple of people, let's say 1,000 people are looking at the code. Okay, 10,000 people understood that, okay, there is this guy called Praveen who released this particular software, which might help us in different ways. First thing. Second thing, we will be able to use this code freely without any money to pay or something like that, which is great. Now, the third thing is they will be able to get the access to the source code as well. So that is the main part here, where you will be able to look into the source code and make changes, suggest changes as well. You can consider this like a Google Drive. Okay. Now, when this happens, these 1,000 people are there, right? If I make a small mistake in the code, which could be a serious mistake as well, one of these 1,000 people will be able to tell at least one or more, right? So you made a mistake here. This might be a big problem in terms of security, privacy, some kind of breach or something like that. So any small mistake made in the open source world will be easily detectable and then recoverable or revertable, something like that, I could say. So got it. Now, do you understand what exactly this open source thing called, like what happens and stuff like that? Any questions? Now let's go with the different open source applications and like competitions and other things. And one more thing which I wanted to say. So whenever I take a live stream, let it be Coding Ninjas or something like that. Even this is being live streamed in my YouTube channel. Whoever comes there, I'm going to give a lot of goodies. Now I have got a lot of stickers, t-shirts, etc. as well. So make sure you're interactive, and definitely you'll be getting something really nice. And that is also another reason why you should go and get participated in any of these open source competitions. So we have another question from Ashi. If people can see somebody's source code, can they do not minor changes and launch as their own clone software? Yeah, that is possible. So one of the most common open source software right now, if you see, is React.js. So React.js is React.js, let's say AngularJS, etc. So I believe These two things everyone knows. Why is there not a clone of Angular or React yet? You tell me, Ashi. People will respect each other. So that is the main reason. But it is possible to make it clone, but that is what we are allowing to do it. Exactly, because it is the best of its kind. So for example, let's say there is this guy called Praveen who is creating, let's say, Preact. Preact is already existing, but it's okay. Let's say I create something called as Preact, and I say that it is slightly better than React with all the React's features. Now, there could be Ayush. He can come and grab that code and make the changes in that code and release it as a React or something like that. Now, the fun part is React, which is trusted by a lot of people, is backed by Facebook. Whereas this guy, Praveen, no one knows who this guy is. And Ayush, no one would have also thought about who Ayush is. So the fun part is all these open source software cannot be made for, like, you cannot convert it into money related stuff. So when Harshit says about licenses, so there are like loads and loads of open source licenses that are available, and all these licenses make sure that other people will not misuse it. I'll also talk about a couple of open source licenses as well. There is a website called as chooselicense.org, or like, wait. Yes, chooselicense.com. Let me try to share the screen, and you should be able to see this on YouTube as well. So is everyone able to see the screen? Oh, there are a couple of messages from YouTube as well. So Himanshu says, passing by, love the work you do. Keep growing, man. Thank you so much, Himanshu. Okay. So these are a couple of YouTube, open source licenses that you can choose to work on. So the fun part is a lot of licenses. If you try to compare between all these licenses, you have to abide by these licenses. First thing, you can also add some commercial software in Git and GitHub, and you can make it private. That doesn't mean that it is an open source software. But if you are using an open source software, there are like different licenses that you can use, and there is a comparison tool as well. So if you go to the licenses, these are the different licenses you might have come across. There is GNU AGPL license, GNU GPL license, which is very common, GNU LGPL license, it is lesser general public license. Then you have Mozilla public license. Then we have Apache license, MIT license. MIT is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology license. Red Hat Linux is actually an enterprise software. Okay, there are some people. Okay, this is a great question. Like, for example, as I said, yes, whatever Ashi said is true to an extent. But the problem is, even if it is stolen, people know that this was stolen from this, because it's easy to find out, okay, is this a React application or something like that? And obviously, if you're just creating a small to-do list for a to-do list on a scale of small scale, then it is not going to matter, right? And there is something that you need to do. Like, there is a sacrifice here, but at the same time, think about in the good perspective. So you are giving out the source code for everyone to see, which is, you're saying like, see, look at any of these licenses. Let's go and look at GNU AGPL license, or GNU, which is the most good license here. Okay, let's go with these things. Okay, so if you take GNU GPL license, you can use it for commercial use. You can distribute it in your thing. You can modify it, which means you can clone it. You can patent the use. You can also use it in your private application. Okay, on these conditions, you have to disclose where did you steal it from. And you also have to have the license and copyright notice on the page, on the project or something like that. You should have, okay, if you are using GNU GPL v3, you should also release your application in the same license, and you have to also state the changes. So now if you see if there is any other licenses, look at this, MIT license. MIT license is one of the very much, used license, like jQuery, etc. jQuery is used by MIT license. MIT license is used by jQuery, where they have asked only to display the license and copyright notice. This means what happens is, if you're working with jQuery or any of the things, you can really modify jQuery and call it as like your own version of jQuery. You have Bootstrap's own jQuery as well. There are other different jQuery as well. So something like that. So when you're planning to release the application or release the project as a private project, then definitely I'm going to say it is going to go in the hands of everyone. At that point of time, you should not think about, okay, what if what if people steal it or something like that. So that is something which you should be okay with. Okay, so in one case, when like Rishika says, if it got stolen and if the stolen software is made better, the original author can again re-steal from the stealer and make their original software better, right? So it's all about making things better, as simple as that. And so that's the thing. So it is something like, so you're saying like, I'm planning to donate 100 rupees of the food. Okay, I got this big basket of biryani and then I wanted to donate it to others. And at that point of time, if there are these people, there are a couple of people who are, how should I say this? There are rich people who are passing by, and they are also taking it. You should not be concerned about that. That is meant to happen. So in simple terms, that is what I'm going to say. Okay. So I hope that was the clear idea I could say. And one more thing is Kajal or anyone from Coding Ninjas is here? Anyone? The reason is the meeting is going to end in like 7 minutes. So I don't know what is going to happen after that. So, okay. So let's try to wrap it up in 7 minutes, and I'll give you a quick reminder of what is happening with CN as well. So there is a 100% discount of the CN courses. So check this out. Check this link out. And also here's where I am streaming this YouTube on the YouTube as well. So if you want to go there and say hi or hit the like button, something like that, that helps. And apart from this, okay, let me quickly jot down all these open source, different open source software that are available right now. Sorry, open source programs that are available currently. So you have got GSOC, which is one of the most common open source program. It is Google Summer of Code, and there is something called as Outreachy. They are also going to give you these two things, Google Summer of Code and Outreachy. They give you a lot of stipend as well. For coming to those that do not give stipend, but which is really good, there is this Free Software Foundation internship. You won't get a stipend, but you would be getting a lot of great mentors to interact with, and also you would be getting a good experience as well. And there is ICFOS. And coming to something which is locally available for Indians, we have GSSOC, Girl Script Summer of Code, and Girl Script Winter of Code. Then there are like so many Winter of Codes are coming in, like Kharagpur Winter of Code, Script Winter of Code, etc. And even I am doing one CATS Winter of Code as a part of CATS in Tech. But yeah, so there are like so many programs that are currently happening right now. So we'll talk about quickly about two things. One is GSOC, Google Summer of Code, and GSSOC in a very simple, quick ways. Okay, so first thing is what exactly Google Summer of Code is. So this is a Google, GSSOC, as the name says, Girl Script Summer of Code. It doesn't mean only for girls. It is the company's name is Girl Script. That's it. It's for all the genders. Coming to Google Summer of Code, the main thing about main facts about Google Summer of Code is the program is by Google, originally completely by Google, and you will be getting a lot of stipends and other things. The main goals is to inspire developers to begin participating in open source development. You have a lot of criteria to pass by, and then you will need to get into that. And why I said I wanted to take GSSOC as well as GSSOC is a stripped down version of Google Summer of Code, where they both have the same kind of vision and what is going to happen there. The only thing is eligibility criteria and the getting into the things, cracking the admission process is easy for GSSOC. It's like there is nothing, there is no criteria for GSSOC, but in GSOC you have a lot of criteria. But what the both the programs, they have this particular goals. So they try to inspire developers to begin participating in the open source development, and they will be able to identify a lot of different extremely good projects for the particular 3-month period when the open source contribution starts. You can get a lot of open source code written by a huge number of people. Like there were like 17,000 people participated in GSOC, and around 6,000 people participated in GSSOC. And the number of lines of code that was written before and after is like more than 20K lines of code has been written across say 200 to 250 projects that are participating in those projects. The good benefit about GSOC is you have brand name attached with Google, and then a lot of big companies like Red Hat, a lot of companies like big companies like Red Hat, Ubuntu, etc. will participate. Canonical, WordPress, all those things will be participate. And not just that, because these companies are so huge and there is a lot of swags involved, both the GSSOC and GSOC, they give out swags to participants, and GSOC will give you stipends as well. So this is about it. And to give a quick application of these things is, first thing is there are like so many mailing lists available in GSOC. So you have to join both the development and the user mailing list and try to understand what people are talking about at the point. And then after a few days, you would be getting the access to the project discussion. You might be having an IRC channel or a Discord channel or Slack and stuff like that. So there are multiple ways you can get into GSOC, and you have to go through what all the projects that are being released. Look at the projects that you might be able to work with, try to identify it, and then you have to start with the contribution process as well. And since we have just got 2 minutes, I'm just going to quickly look at the chat. There are 3 different types of participations that can happen. One is the organization participation. Other one is the, how should I say? You can participate as mentors, or finally, as students, you will be able to participate. For eligibility criteria in GSOC, GSSOC doesn't have any eligibility criteria. GSOC, you have to be 18 years of age and you should be a current student. That's all. Okay. So make sure you are here. And Tarun has given this awesome website. It's called goodfirstissue.dev. And this website will list out all the issues that are good first issue for a beginner to start with open source applications and other things. So that is something which I would like to say. And apart from this, I guess this is pretty much everything related to GSOC and GSSOC. And I guess we have to have another huge, let me try to get this particular, okay. So here's a GSOC's student guide link. I have just added this. Hey, crazy cat. Okay, I have just added this link in the chat. So make sure you have a look at it. And since it's going to end less than a minute ago, available. So everyone have a nice time and make sure you stay safe and stay away from Corona. All right. Sorry about the abrupt cutting, and see you all. Bye.